Oh, so suddenly you're poison the air I breathe. But if you don't hate me, then why would you break me? Feel it in my bones, I'm about to lose control. Only so much I'm taking, so get yourself to safety. Cause baby, a storm is coming. You better heed the warning, pray. Don't stay, run away, away.
Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. This time we're talking about Voge 525RR. This bike is pretty fast for the displacement. So Vogue claims that this guy goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in only 4.1 seconds, and the top speed of this machine is 190 kilometers per hour. So let's talk about the engine for a second. This is 494cc engine, which actually comes from Honda CBR 500. Alright, so they told me about this engine right away. They said that this is pretty much the same engine as Honda has. This bike has to be pretty reliable, to be honest. This is parallel twin engine. It has 54 horsepower and something around 50 newton meters of torque. So this is pretty much the same engine as CU525 has, right? But this is the sports bike, so it's supposed to be fast. And yeah, guys, actually, this bike is featuring some really cool features. It has ABS, traction control system, but other than that, guys, this bike has really nice tires. So these are Pirelli Rossi 3. So this is something pretty remarkable. And there's one more thing I want to show you guys. 320 millimeter single disc. This is supposed to be 4-piston Brembo caliper. Again, Pirelli Rossi 3 tires. 120 millimeter front tire and 160 millimeter rear tire. These tires are pretty nice, especially taking how cheap this bike is. The rear disc is 220 millimeter single disc, and we have Nissan caliper from behind. I'm very excited about this bike. I really want to try it out and tell what I think. But so far, guys, I'll tell you one thing for sure. This bike is very, very bright, super vivid. I really like the way it looks. And yeah, as we can see, the front part of the bike is pretty big. I would tell you guys that the front end of the bike is very beautiful, and the rear part of the bike isn't as beautiful. But I mean, tell me what you think, guys. I really like the first, 60 to 70% of the bike. It looks so muscular and beautiful. And the rear part is kind of, in my books, it feels as if it has been neglected by the designer. As far as I can see, we have KYB non-adjustable front suspension, and this is a 41 millimeter upside down fork. From behind, we have a monoshock. Comes from KYB as far as I can tell. Again, probably preload is adjustable, but I'm not sure. So this is tubular steel frame. This bike isn't too light, but it isn't too heavy either. So the weight of the bike, the carb weight of this machine is 172 kilograms, which is pretty nice, to be honest. And the seat height of this bad boy is 790 millimeters. So this bike would be approachable for most of riders. And over here we have a fuel tank which is 14.5 liters. Alright guys, let me sit on the bike. I'll tell you what I feel. I tell you what I think about this machine. Alright, so over here we have a TFT dash, 5-inch dash. I feel like it's a bit smaller than that, but it's pretty bright. You can read pretty much everything you need. It has 2 modes, sport and normal. It has ABS and traction control system. And guys, this bike has this unique feature which is available on Cove, where you can turn your ABS off, which is cool for a track or for some recreational purposes perhaps. I feel like it is time for me to start this machine, shall we? Are you ready, guys? Alright, so this is the sound. Let's listen to the engine. Doesn't sound bad. First gear, let's go. Ergonomic wise, of course this is a sports bike, so I feel as if I'm riding something sporty, but foot pegs aren't too high. so it's still pretty comfortable, to be honest. By now I can tell you that this bike doesn't feel small. I'm 1 meter 85 centimeters, so it has 6-speed gearbox. It doesn't have a quick shifter, which is a bad thing for me, because once you ride something with a quick shifter, you don't want to come back. The throttle is pretty sharp, to be honest. All right. So the throttle in sport mode is pretty sharp, pretty aggressive, I would say. It doesn't have ride-by-wire, so it has a cable throttle. Actually, this bike has pretty nice engine braking. I would say that the bike stops without brakes once you get off the throttle. All right. Oh, that's a pretty aggressive bike, to be honest. This bike is really fast for the displacement, guys. Vogue claims that it goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in only 4.1 seconds, which is crazy fast for the displacement. So it should be faster than CF Moto 450 SR or SRS. And yeah, this is a decent nemesis of those bikes, guys. But I'll tell you one thing right away. Unfortunately, I do not see many Vogues on the street, so I cannot tell you why. Probably because CF Moto is a more popular brand compared to Vogue. I absolutely love CF Moto 450, and I think that that one is one of the best bikes for a beginner. And by now, guys, Vogue 525 doesn't feel bad at all. It's very, very close to CF Moto. But I would tell you that the throttle feels more jerky on this bike. One can argue that it's more responsive, which is a good thing. I already told you guys about it, but I'll repeat myself. One of the most outstanding parts of this machine is the fact that you can turn ABS off, just like on Cove, which is a very cool feature, I guess. I want to stop. Brakes are nice, actually, way sharper than on Z400. Let me find neutral, can I? Alright, it's not as easy. Alright, yeah, now I have to dance around. Okay, I found neutral. Alright, guys, so my first impressions on this machine is that this is a small displacement sports bike, which is pretty nice to ride. Ergonomics is not super sporty, but pretty nice for a daily use. And yeah, let's go further. Let's try to go a bit faster. This bike definitely sounds meaner than CF Moto, but I don't feel as if the sound is better than on CF Moto 450. CF Moto has 270-degree crank. This bike doesn't. But yeah, they did a good job in terms of sound anyway, but it's not as good as on CF Moto. Alright, now we're going, guys. No cars, no traffic. We can actually speed up a bit. Alright, pretty fun to ride, guys. And again, we are in winter, so tires are pretty cold, and adhesion isn't as good as I want it to be, but still kind of alright. Brakes, brakes, brakes. Brakes are nice. Alright, guys, so this is the place where I like to measure acceleration, so shall we? Are you ready, guys? 1, 2, 3. Alright, so I did a tiny wheelie. Traction control system's supposed to be on, but regardless, I did a tiny wheelie just now, and I was having some hard time changing gears. As always, this is my biggest problem. When would I learn, huh? Alright, guys, let's do this one more time, but I want to make sure that my traction control is on. Alright, let me stop for a second. Neutral. Alright, I did it from the first time. I do want to find traction control. So we have ABS on and off, but there is no indicator on the dash as far as I can tell, which is bad. I really want to find the traction control, guys, but yeah, I see that indicator, but does it mean that traction control is on or off? Okay. Oh, right now I don't see traction control. Probably it means that traction control is off. Okay. You know what? I can do one thing. No, nothing happened. I tried to do a burnout and I couldn't. Does it mean that traction control is on or off? ABS? Holy moly, guys. I mean, I'm not sure. What am I doing? ABS is off, on? Okay. What about this one? Okay. Alright, guys. This bike stops me from doing burnouts. Alright, let's do it one more time. I don't know whether I have traction control on or off, but we're going to go pretty fast from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. So I can go as fast as 70 kilometers per hour in the first gear. So I have to keep it in mind. Okay, are you ready, guys? All right. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. All right, guys. One thing I'll tell you right away: when I shift into second gear, I do this tiny wheelie, which is pretty scary. All right, one more time, guys. Ready? All right. Yeah, that feels pretty fast for the displacement. It feels faster than Kawasaki Ninja, I would say. I do feel as if it feels faster than Yamaha R3. Yeah, this is a way more powerful motorcycle. But again, guys, you know that I suck really badly in launching the bike. Okay, one more time. Ready? Oh, bad boy! Haha, alright. That wasn't bad, my people. That wasn't bad at all. Alright, guys, so I'll tell you one thing. This bike feels really good. And you know what? This time, I was actually shifting into second gear with no problems. So I did not slip into neutral, you know? This is my biggest problem. But the gearbox is pretty decent, to be honest. I really like the gearbox. Alright, guys, so one more time, I'll tell you about official numbers from Vogue. So according to Vogue, this bike goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in only 4.1 seconds with a top speed of 191 kilometers per hour. So on paper, this is supposed to be the fastest bike from the displacement. It's faster than CF Moto, it's faster than Ninja 400, it's faster than R3, KTM 390, you name it, it's faster than that. So feeling wise, this bike feels good. It has really nice features such as traction control system, dual channel ABS, front caliper comes from Brembo, upside down 41 millimeter KYB front suspension. So this bike is legit. And of course it has TFT dash. It has Bluetooth connectivity. You can connect your phone, so on. This bike is a legit bullet, guys. I mean, for the displacement, this bike is very fast, and it gives you whatever you want from a bike like this. It gives us really conspicuous design. I would say maybe design isn't too conspicuous, but the color is very vivid for sure. I don't really understand why most people prefer CF Moto over Vogue. Actually, if you would ask my personal opinion, I would tell you that I do think that CF Moto looks better, but I do like this color more. So I have those moral quandaries about the design because, yeah, it's pretty hard to pick a winner. But tell me what you think about the design, guys. And talking about specifications, guys, this bike is great. But again, it doesn't sound as good as CF Moto would sound. So this is the big difference. But performance-wise, yeah, I feel as if this bike is even faster than CF Moto. I think you have to be a very decent rider to launch this bike from 0 to 100 in 4.1 seconds. You know, right, guys? I'm an average Joe who's riding bikes as a hobby, so my time wasn't as good. But yeah, guys, still, this bike feels fast. I really like the way it feels. I really like the way it rides. This bike is a bit heavier than CF Moto. It's like 3 or 4 kilograms heavier, which is a pretty negligible difference in my books. But yeah, maybe some people would think that this is the big difference. I don't know. But right now, as I'm riding in a relatively small space, oh, I found a big problem, guys. Okay, I'll show you now, or I'll stop. So, just now, as I was trying to do some slow speed maneuvers, I was trying to turn left and look at my thumb. So, the proximity in between the handlebars and the tank, this proximity is so small that you can pinch your thumb. And I know that most people would say, oh, this is a sports bike. Like, you don't have to ride this way. You have to kind of, I don't know, use it a bit differently and so on. But, guys, still, this is a small displacement sports bike. And most people who are buying those bikes, those are beginners. And they're going to do those things all over the place. And, yeah, actually, I'm not a big fan of pinching my thumbs. The radius of turning is pretty nice. Yeah, I feel pretty good. Again, you don't want to go too deep because you're going to pinch your thumb, which is not a good thing. It doesn't feel pleasant. But guys, so far it feels pretty nice. I mean, yeah, I feel good. I really like doing those circles. Okay. Alright, let's go back. I think if a person would try this bike before buying Kawasaki Ninja or buying CF Moto 450, I feel like those guys, they will just think twice, because this bike is really nice, guys. I'm telling you, like, it's pretty fast, it's pretty fun to ride. The only thing I don't like is the proximity in between handlebars and fuel tank, as I already mentioned. But other than that, guys, just an incredible bike. Let's listen to the engine one more time. Yeah, maybe the sound isn't as good as in CF Moto, but other than that, yeah, this bike is pretty nice. Alright, guys, so this was my short review of a bike, first ride / review. I hope you like it. Tell me please what you think about this machine, because I feel as if this bike is no worse than CF Moto 450, but taking that most people, like 9 out of 10 people, would prefer CF Moto over this bike, I just don't understand why. So tell me please what you think. What do you think about the engine, which is like pretty much the same engine as Honda has. Tell me what you think about the design. And yeah, as always, guys, it was my pleasure to ride this bike for you. Hope you like my video. Hope you enjoy my humble effort. And subscribe to my channel. Hit me up in the comment section below. And as always, I see you in next videos, guys. Take care. Stay safe.